Good morning, everyone. This is Jarvis S. Scott with What's Happening in Birmingham. Today, I have the honor and pleasure of being with Mr. Bob Dickerson, who is the CEO of Birmingham Business Resource Center. Good morning, Mr. Dickerson.
Hey,
How you
Jarvis.
doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for taking time out your day.
Hey, my pleasure.
For those who don't know who you are, just give us a little introduction.
Oh, wow. I think everybody does. I've been around so long. But anyway, I'm a former banker. I spent about 20 years in banking. I've run this small business development agency since 1996, so for the past 22 years. So out of 42 of my 45 years now out of college, boy, it doesn't seem like that long. Time flies. I've spent trying to help people get money. I mean, to sum it all up, I've been a consumer loan officer, commercial loan officer, run a mortgage department, been a senior lender at a thrift institution. So, I guess I've been around lending for all of my career.
Okay. So, when you started the Birmingham Business Resource Center, what vision did you have in mind?
Well, so the Resource Center came about as a result of the need to pull together various loan programs in a one-stop shop. And that in addition to the loans, we would provide companies with advice and guidance and what was called back in those days, and still is called management and technical assistance. Mm-hmm. Because what we understood was that going into business there were three major things that any business needed. It needed capacity, and so that's where the technical assistance came in. It needed capital, that's where the loan programs came in. And then, of course, it needed customers, because without customers, somebody to buy a product or service, then no matter how much capacity or how much capital you have, you're still not going to be successful in business.
Okay. So what are the new type of loans you offer?
Well, to be honest with you, loans have been the same kinds of loans all the time. Short-term loans that provide working capital, longer-term loans for capital expenditures, buying equipment, buildings, expansion of plant facilities. The thing that has changed with lending, and it's gone up and down, are the various players that provide loans. So, traditionally, business loans come from banks, and that's been tradition for all of our lives. Recently now, non-bank lenders are getting in the mix. A lot of them are technology companies, and we call them fintechs, financial technology companies. And so these people are taking the opportunity that technology is providing and actually taking away some business from some banks. So quite often now, even banks are getting in the game where your transactions are done remotely. And loan applications are being done remotely. If all you have to do now is turn the TV on, and if you watch TV 20 minutes, you're going to see a Quicken Loan commercial. Mm-hmm. And Quicken Loan says, hey, you're going to be approved in 8 minutes on your telephone. And so that's a mortgage loan. That's more of a consumer product. But actually, there are business fintechs, business lenders that are fintechs. The thing that I caution people about in dealing with online lenders is to make sure that you understand the terms of the loan very clearly. In a consumer situation, the lender has to disclose the annual percentage rate. It has to tell you what the true cost of your credit is. In a business situation, they don't. And so when you think about interest rates plus fees plus other things, you may end up with a loan that has a very high interest rate if you're not careful and you don't know what you're doing.
Okay. Well, let's kind of back for a moment. And what are some reasons a person should get a business loan? The reason I should ask that question, because a lot of times if you come to him, he's going to ask you, why do you need the money?
Yeah. First question. Yeah. What do you need the money for? Why do you need it? What are you going to do with it? And you need to know that answer. Right? Not knowing that answer, being vague, being unsure, or saying things like, I want to make a loan. Well, how much do you need? Well, I'll take what I can get. Well, so when I hear that, I'm not taking you all that serious, and I feel like, well, you'll take whatever you get, then you may not pay it back. So, so it's very important that you understand how much you need and why. So why would you get a loan? Well, you have an opportunity. So you have an opportunity to buy a building, and buying that building fits in your business plan. It's going to benefit your business. It's going to benefit you personally. Good reason to go along. You got some new customers, and you sell on terms, so people don't pay you time you deliver the service. They pay you 30 days later. Well, you need to carry your operation for those 30 days. And so now you need a line of credit. You need some kind of loan so that you're not late paying your bills, late making payroll, late doing the things that you need to do, waiting on a customer, a good customer, hopefully, to pay you. So working capital is a good reason to get a loan. There's an opportunity to buy a business. There's an opportunity to expand. All good reasons. Bad reasons are you need a loan to make up for a mistake that you made. Kind of cover a sin. You need a loan to pay off another loan. You need a loan because you've lost business, and so now you got to get a loan to replace the income from the business you lost. Those are bad reasons, because if you lost business, then you go out and get a loan, you got another debt to pay with less revenue. So it doesn't really add up. Why would you add debt when revenue is shrinking? And so a lot of folks want to do that, and sometimes people borrow money because they can, and lenders loan money because the customer asks for it. Quite often, a loan might be better off declined or not made, because more than likely, when a loan is made to a bad situation or for a bad reason, it causes problems.
Okay.
So the lender's problem is, well, I made a bad loan, so I end up having to write it off or take this person to collection, or maybe, I look bad to my bosses or my board in my case. But the borrower who makes a bad loan gets hurt worse, because we're sitting here as lenders, we have millions of dollars. And so we loaned last year, our 504 loan program, we did $24 million in loans. Okay. So we lost a $500,000 loan. It's not that big a deal. But that person that defaulted gets it on their credit. In our case with the SBA, now they got a problem with the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Okay. and so, we'll recover when we make a loan that doesn't get paid back. Quite often the business doesn't.
Okay. What type of industries have a better chance, or is there type of industries that have better chance of getting loans than others? Lending very much depends on the company and or person that's applying for the loan. So obviously, if you have somebody that's very strong financially, then it's easier. If you're a doctor or a lawyer, you're established and you want to buy a building, it's pretty easy. Industries are evaluated like that, except in a couple of instances, it's harder when you want to do a restaurant or bar. It's harder when you want to do a service station, C-store, or car wash. Okay. So those are loans that the lenders look at with quite a bit more scrutiny than they do loans to professionals, doctors, lawyers, dentists, optometrists, even insurance people, business men and women. People that have retail establishments that are very well established retail establishments. Franchises are, coveted. Everybody wants to do a franchise. Everybody wants to loan to a franchise. So those are a little bit easier to get. Okay. So let's talk about preparation before they kind of get the loan. I mean, I guess as far as preparation is, the first and foremost, the importance of your personal credit that goes along.
Yeah. Well, you do. You need to prepare. We help people prepare. Okay. So I guess not a day goes by and we don't talk to 2 or 3 folks who say, well, listen, I think I want to borrow some money. And so we'll ask just a few questions. Hey, what's your credit score? Your personal credit score. Your personal credit is important. Lenders are going to want you to personally guarantee the debt of your company. So they may put the loan in the business's name, but if you run a small business, that loan is just as much to you as an individual as to the business. So your personal credit comes into play. Have you thought out why you need to borrow money? Do you have more than one source of repayment? That's an important issue. And so what we try to do with folks is we understand that there are degrees of credit worthiness. Okay, so we try to figure out what is your credit worthiness, what based on your credit, based on your financial condition, based on your profile, what are you likely, or how much are you likely to be approved for? So having been in this business, as I said, for over 40 years, having a staff of folks who've been in lending for 20 and 15 years, we got a feel for, what's going to work and what won't, and we can have a feel for what you are likely to be able to borrow and what you shouldn't be, what you won't be able to borrow.
Okay. Next question is, how important is your relationship with your bank before I come to you?
Yeah. Well, I always tell people, don't meet your banker the day you need a loan.
Okay.
Especially if you're in business. If you're in business, there are some relationships that you need to establish, and a relationship with a bank or some banks, and not just the bank, but with the banker. There's a big difference in saying, "Oh, I bank with such and so," or "I know somebody in the bank who understands, who knows who I am, understands my business. I think has my best interest in mind, would go to bat for me." Those relationships are the ones that you need to seek and seek them out. And so if you're in business, you should have a relationship with not just the bank, but a relationship with bankers. And make sure that you have a relationship with a banker that has the authority and the clout and the influence within the organization to be able to help you.
Okay. I guess the next question I want to kind of ask you is, okay, well, I come in, fill out the application. What's the rest of the process as far as, I guess, even turnaround?
Well,
as far as,
it depends on how much you want. So, keep in mind, the majority of the loans that we end up making here are in the $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 range. And so, as you might expect, those take, some due diligence, and gathering and analyzing information takes a while. We might, in our SBA portfolio, our originators and underwriters might work on a loan for 30 days before it actually gets to me for review and approval.
Okay.
But if it's a micro loan, so it's a loan of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, there's a shorter checklist of items that the borrower provides, and those decisions are made in-house, and those can be made, the same day the information is obtained.
Okay.
So it's not that long a process if you're not borrowing a lot of money. But the more money you're borrowing, the more complicated the deal, the longer the process takes.
Do you need to have business credit before you come in for your first loan, or?
Well, it depends on the size of the loan. If you're doing a SBA 504 loan and you got a project that's over $1 million, yes, you definitely need business credit. If you are borrowing $20,000-$25,000, your personal credit is going to be what we look at.
Okay. All right. I want to kind of step away here from a bit and come back to one of the biggest events I feel that your organization puts on is the A.G. Gaston Conference every year. How did that come about?
So I worked for A.G. Gaston back in the 80s. I think that it was like a watershed moment in my life. I always respected him and thought that he was a phenomenal businessman. I wasn't the only one. Black Enterprise magazine named him Entrepreneur of the 20th Century. So when he died in 1996, something within me wanted to do something in his honor. And also, when you looked at him, what he overcame to become successful in business, the time that he grew up and progressed in was a time of overt discrimination and segregation. Jim Crow laws were still in place, yet he persevered and succeeded. And, just looking at now, I mean, anybody who's going to be successful in business is likely to have to persevere and, kind of work against some odds to be able to, to get there. And so, he worked against the odds. We need to teach business people that that's what you got to do. You got to work against the odds in order to be successful. So we started the conference back in 2006, I believe. Anyway, we got our 15th anniversary conference coming up next year. You're the first to know. We just signed 2 heavyweight speakers.
Okay.
CNN commentator Angela Rye will be one of our speakers, and thought leader and provocateur Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Oh man!
Will be our speaker.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shake some stuff up
in
February of 2019.
Okay. Yeah. So how have you seen the conference change over the years?
Well, to be honest with you, Jarvis, I don't know that it's changed a lot. We've stuck with a formula that we think works. It spans 2 days. We start at lunch on a Tuesday. We run through that evening. Usually there's some social event, Tuesday evening, and then on Wednesday we culminate with lunch. One of the things that we've done intentionally over the past 3-4 years, well, we've succeeded at it. We've tried to do it before. I think we're becoming more successful at it now, is to involve younger people.
Okay.
So one of the things that Gaston was about, he was always about the next generation.
Okay.
A.G. Gaston Boys and Girls Clubs, he sent countless children to college, was on the trustee board at Tuskegee. I mean, so he ran the Booker T. Washington Business College. I mean, so he was about young people, he was about education. And so, we've been trying to get more and more young people to participate in the conference. And we work with a few young people here in the community. Dr. Anthony Hood over at UAB has put together part of our programming for the last 3 years running. And so we know he'll be back. Art and Blackwell wrote the paper for the conference last year and did a great job. And we actually had 3 youthful, and I don't think either one of them was an adult, but 3 entrepreneurs that were college students. They came and talked about their journey and some of the things that they are thinking about as they venture into entrepreneurship. So that's been fun to watch it kind of grow and get younger and younger.
Okay. I'm here in Birmingham, and the city seems to be on a resurgence. What opportunities do you see for business growth?
Well, obviously we're sitting in Innovation Depot, and some technology is here. I think article in Forbes magazine last day or so sort of called Birmingham the Silicon Valley of the South, and I mean that is quite a compliment and a tribute to what's happening in our city. We need more diversity in all aspects of business ownership. We need more diversity around that tech space, and we need to grow larger, stronger, more successful businesses that are owned by folks who look like the people who contribute, who live in our community. We need more successful Black businesses. We need more successful women-owned businesses. We need more successful brown businesses. And so, I think that notion and help for folks who fit those characteristics, have those characteristics rather, is here. That's what we try to do. Other organizations are trying to do it. The city just put out RFP for creative and innovative ideas around business growth and development, workforce development through business growth and development. So I'm optimistic about the fact that, you know, new age thinking is sort of coming into play here. Hopefully they don't leave all of the old guys like me.
No.
But anyway, it's, you know, I'm excited about what I think Birmingham is doing.
Okay. Now moving on to, you know, minorities and women-owned businesses, what challenges do you think they face today besides getting capital?
Well, that is the cap. I mean, that's the major hurdle, because when you go into business, what you do is you leverage what you have. And so if you have a lot to leverage, then you start a bigger business. Stats show that the larger you are, the better you're able to withstand some of the bumps and pitfalls and things that inevitably will happen to any business. So if you go into a business undercapitalized and you have a bad week, you can be out of business, much less a bad month or a bad year. If you go in adequately capitalized and you have a bad month or bad year, you may be able to withstand. If you go in well capitalized and you have a bad 2 years, you still may be able to sustain. So being able to sustain, having enough capital, having the kind of capital that's necessary. We have tended to look at capital as debt always, and we've always looked at debt in a very narrow way. Borrow the money, 30 days later you start paying it back. And so, but business doesn't necessarily work like that. And so what we need to do is we need to tailor capital and debt to fit the business cycles, cash flow cycles, sales cycles, expenses cycles, manufacturing cycles. And so when we can start looking at the capital needs of a company based on its characteristics, and then I think we can tailor, you know, financing programs that better fit the needs of those companies. So we're working on a program here right now. We started something called the Business Capacity Fund. Again, you're first to hear that because we haven't even put that out yet. If you don't see this video in the next 30 days, you may see it on our website and see some publication come from us. But we're launching a Business Capacity Fund, and that fund is going to experiment with making some unique kinds of financing and credit opportunities available for small businesses.
Oh, okay. Since I got you, I'm in front of you. What are some things you want people to know about you that they would not know? You know, just, you know, they may seen you out or, you know, seen the news.
Yeah, well, you know, I got 3 grandkids. I have 2 grandchildren that are both less than a year old. I have Kinsley is almost 3 months old, and Kai is almost 11 months old. And then I have a grandson, Kobe. Kobe will be 10 in January. Everybody knows I love golf. And I'm on the radio. You know, we do the Myriad Gospel Music Countdown, our radio program. We've been doing that for 22 years. And we're on about 90 stations across the country. Yeah.
All right. One thing I do want to mention, this man is a workout fanatic. I'm like, he can work out. If you ever see him in the gym, that's Bob.
Yeah.
And everything.
Trying to deal with Father Time.
Oh, okay.
That's the best way to do it, I think. Try to stay in shape.
Okay. So, for more information, if they want to reach out to you.
Sure. You know, our website is mybbRC.biz. mybbRC.biz. My personal website, bobdickerson.com. Go check it out. Reach out to me on social media. I'm on them all, like at B. Dickerson Jr. on Twitter, LinkedIn, Bob Dickerson, Facebook, Bob Dickerson, and, Instagram, Bob Dickerson. So check that out. The Resource Center is located in Innovation Depot, and you can call us, and we still answer the phone too, at 205-250-6380.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Dickerson, for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you all. And for more information and more of these videos, please check out what's happening Birmingham.com. Thank you all again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right.